Good morning, everybody. Toast to you and all you do. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I hope that you are enjoying yourself. And I really hope that you are making it through these difficult times. Just making it through these difficult times. I think right now everybody either themselves or knows someone who is struggling, and this is when we really need to, as we'll talk a lot about in this video, but we need to recognize how we are affected by the people around us and how we are affecting them, and how that kind of goes back and forth. But before we get started, I had some amazing people drop off a present for me, and they are Lobo Labs. They are a local CBD balm, oils kind of thing, and they gave me a present. So I figured I would open it and show all of you. It's so cute. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, and they gave me some candy. So this is from Lobo Labs. They are locally here in northern Colorado. They make CBD balms, oils. The lady who is one of the owners, she's amazing. She's a local nurse here. So let's see what we got today. It's called Glide, and this is a massage oil, and it has hemp infused almond oil, coconut oil, and jojoba oil. Oh, so I bet that's really nice for your skin. So this is like a massage oil, and then we got a balm, and so this is it looks like deodorant, but I don't think it is. It is hemp infused cocoa butter, shea butter, and almond oil. So this is, it smells like almonds. It's very natural, and it's got a nice consistency. It's like a goop. And then we got eyelash serum. So this goes, it's like a, look, it's got a lengthy thing. So it's to help your eyelashes grow and be healthy. And last but not least, we have hemp infused oils. What is this one? So this is just straight oil. It's processed in a facility. Oh, so this is a tincture. And it is an infused olive oil. Oh, it's pet friendly. So all of these things, this one should be calming. Very cool. So we got that gift today. Well, I got it a couple days ago, but that was very sweet of her. You can find them online at Lopo Labs. It's LOPOLABS.com. And they are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So, very cool. Thank you very much. It was very sweet of them. So, with that, let's talk a little bit about the full moon we have coming up tomorrow. And the major transitions that are happening. So we have been talking a lot about some of these aspects. They are still reoccurring, as I've mentioned in previous videos, with that outer planets, since they move so slowly and sometimes they move together just where they are. We kind of have some repeating things. We also have a lot of planets in retrograde right now. And we have the full moon in Aquarius at 27 degrees, August 19th. Here in Colorado, it is at 11:26. So that would be 1 o'clock Eastern time, and so on and so forth. So let's talk about some retrograde planets. We have Pluto, Ceres, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, and Eris all in retrograde. And this strong retrograde energy really is probably being felt as kind of challenging. anytime we have a retrograde, it is when the planet is asking us, have you learned the lesson I'm trying to teach you? Are you processing these things? Are you really seeing what I'm trying to tell you? So Mercury is in retrograde. We'll start with that one because we talk about that a lot. You see that all over the place. Mercury goes into retrograde 3 or 4 times a year because it's an inner planet. It moves really quickly, and as we see it go through the sky, it often goes into retrograde. And it is also conjunct to the Sun and Vesta right now. I'm actually today, the 18th, they are all exact conjunct. I think this evening at some point. But so that in itself brings up a very pointed energy. It is really calling to you and asking, with Mercury's retrograde, which, as we've talked about before, Mercury is thoughts, words, actions. And when it goes into retrograde, it's asking you, are your thoughts, words, and actions in alignment? Are you doing what you say? Are you saying what you mean? Are you saying what you're thinking, or are you not? And when we are not, we often find that we have challenges this time during the Mercury retrograde. So if you're thinking something, saying something, and doing something, and they don't align with each other for whatever reason, that's going to get kind of called up in your face. We see this in communications often, in part because Mercury is one of the communicative energies of the planets, but also because if you're thinking something and then you say something else and you're not being honest in your words and your actions, when you're talking to other people, that comes out. And then you find you have these problems. And so if you're finding Mercury retrograde is really challenging for you, take a step, really think about your thoughts, words, and actions and how they align and how you're expressing yourself. And are you being honest? With it being conjunct right now with the Sun and Vesta, it points towards, are you expressing your devotions, your passions, what you're devoted to doing? Oftentimes with spirituality, it's in the last degrees of Leo. So in your role in the community, in your devotion to that, and in your spirituality and your spiritual community, are you doing the things that you say? Are you meaning the things that you say? And are you really expressing yourself in a way that is honest to yourself? If at this point you have given your devotion and given yourself to something that's not true to you, it's probably going to get in your face. You're going to see this. That is heightened by the fact that right now we saw Pluto in retrograde, and it is going across that Aquarius Capricorn line. It's actually at 0 degrees, and it is really calling you out to say, hey, who are you giving your authority to? Who are you giving your power to? Are you being honest with yourself about your feelings and what you're committed to and how you're transitioning? Are you really making the changes that you need to make in order to be your true, honest self, to take your own power, to be your own authority? We, over the last, for a long time in our society, have given our authority to other people. We give our authority to the government, we give our authority to our community, to our churches, to our friends, to our social media, to whoever we think is supposed to be in charge. And Pluto is kind of calling you out right now and saying, hey, stop giving your power to other people. You need to hold your power. You need to be the one who focuses your power, who gives your authority, who is you. You just need to be you. And you need to find your own inner... You need to express your power in a way that is authentic. And stop giving our power to some other external source who does not have our best intentions, who does not, is not focused on us succeeding and doing good and thriving as individuals and as a community and as a global society. And we need to step back, and we need to bring this back down and focus on ourselves. Spend less time on social media. Spend less time worried about what somebody else is telling you should think, and start to really think for yourself and express yourself in a way that is pure of intent, that is of you, and just know that you are a beautiful individual who has a place at every table. You are meant to be you, and the moment that you stop trying to be something for somebody else is the moment that you will find you can find success. You can do the things that you want to do. You can achieve your goals, and you can really make those changes to be your ideal self. We also, let's go through, there's a lot of things that I would like to say, but I don't want to get too carried in many directions. So we have Ceres retrograde right now, and Ceres is that, the grain goddess, and she brings us bounty for the hard work that we do. When Ceres is in retrograde, it is a time to slow down and to think about whether or not you are taking care of yourself so that you can take care of other people. And so Ceres just calls on you to say, hey, are you doing the things that you need to do to take care of yourself so that you can create the bounty and find the success and reap those rewards later? Because if we're so caught up in growing the vegetables and doing the thing and achieving this harvest, and we're not taking care of ourselves, when it comes to that point, we're not going to be able to enjoy it, because we're going to be so tired and exhausted and miserable that we cannot enjoy the things that we have worked so hard to achieve. So I have to take that time to slow down and really take care of yourself. And I think right now that is so important. So I really recommend everybody slow down. Like I already said, get off social media, talk to somebody close, go have a cup of coffee with somebody or tea, or get some, just go get some cake with somebody that you love, and take a breath and enjoy yourself. We don't have to rush, constantly struggling like, you're always in a hurry to get everything done. It's okay to slow down and to relax and to take a breath and be like, look at all that I've achieved, reward myself, refill my own cup, and really then step forward so that you can make these big changes that we're being called to make. So then we have Saturn in retrograde, which this is Saturn's energy is like a rippling out energy that deals with the society and how we interact with the people around us. And when Saturn is in retrograde, it is asking, how are you affecting your community, and how is your community affecting you? And are you happy with that? Have you reached the place in your life where have you reached your goals? It makes you question your goals. It makes you question the things that you're doing and how far you've come, and kind of what is your ripple effect that you're having. And this can be one of those challenging times for people who are not at a place in their life where they want to be. And if you find you're really struggling and this energy also asks you to look at your goals and your expectations realistically. Because if we have unrealistic expectations, we will always be disappointed. If we are always expecting this great notion and it never comes, we're always going to be the victim. We're always going to be getting hurt. We're always going to be in pain, because we're not holding these things to real reality. So we have to stop. You have to think about, not just, am I where I want to be in this life? Am I affecting my community the way that I want? Is my community affecting me? But also, are my expectations realistic? And then apply that. Everyone has unrealistic expectations for themselves. I think that is just like a driving, motivating factor that we all have. But are we judging ourselves to a realistic expectation? So just slow down, take in Ceres's energy, take that slow down, evaluate your goals, evaluate what you thought you should be doing and what you are doing, and is that realistic? and see the changes that you need to make so that the next time Saturn goes into retrograde, it doesn't stress you out, because you're like, you know what? I am good to my community. My community is good to me, and I am really doing a good job at achieving my goals. It doesn't have to be stressful. Just like Mercury retrograde doesn't have to be stressful. These are just moments where we take to check ourselves and to say, hey, am I doing these things? Am I, taking care of myself? Am I giving my power to other people? Am I helping my community? Is my community helping me? All of those things. So next we have Neptune in retrograde, and we talked a lot about this in a previous video, so I'm just going to touch briefly again on this. And so Neptune's retrograde. Neptune is that higher perspective, our intuition, our connection to the divine. And in retrograde, I feel like it can go one of two ways. And since it's at 29 degrees of Pisces in the last degree of the last zodiac symbol, and it's looking for a big change, I think that it's going to come more like a slap in the face, like, hello, you're still wearing these blinders, you're still seeing the world through these rose-colored glasses, you're still seeing the world from this perspective that is so skewed or so small or whatever it may be, that you are not seeing the big picture. And the big picture is just going to be revealed to you. It is going to be like a slap in the face. On a more gentle side, this energy could be overemphasizing your delusions, your blinders, your rose-colored glasses, whatever it may be, and really overemphasizing it, like to the point where you're like, wow, this, it becomes a parody. Oh my goodness, now I am seeing how funny this actually is, to think that the shoe's always gonna, the other shoe's always gonna drop. You can't live thinking that, oh, the shoe's just gonna drop all the time, because that's not realistic. It's really not gonna happen all the time. We don't have to be in a constant state of panic to survive. And you can heal, and we don't need those blinders. And so truths are being revealed, our perceptions are being broadened. And like I said, with it being at the last degrees of Pisces, and this being something that Neptune's really been doing for a while now, I feel like this is that last moment where Neptune's like, okay, if you didn't get the point already, now you're going to get that point. It's going to be in your face, you're going to see it, and I think some people are going to find this harder than others. And so at this moment, I just want everyone to know that you are not alone. Someone else is going through the same struggles at the same moment. There are people out there to support you, and you don't have to do something dramatic. A lot of our coping mechanisms are not productive, and it's important to find healthy ways to deal with what you're going through, and there's always somebody there for you. So if you don't have somebody that you can call right here next to you or whatnot, you can always reach out to me. I am here to support people and to really help, because you're not alone. You have somebody there for you no matter what, and someone else is going through the exact same struggles. I know we feel often that we are the only person in the world who is suffering in this way, but you're not. And we can use each other as a good support. That's when we can be affected by our community in a good way, because we can find that we have that support. So if you are struggling with addiction, if you are struggling with grief, if you are struggling with, past traumas, whatever it may be, they are going to come up. This is going to be something that's in your face. You cannot put your head in the sand and just look the other way and pretend anymore. It's not going to be okay. You just can't. This is the time when we have to make these changes. The universe is calling us out. The universe is like, this is the time. And we are at this spiritual evolutionary moment. A lot of the planets haven't made these transitions in hundreds of years. So Neptune and Pluto making these transitions across signs. Pluto is going from Capricorn to Aquarius. Neptune is going from Pisces to Aries, which is a really big thing. Like, this is a grand awakening of our intuitive perception. And that can be overwhelming. You know, I call them digital downloads from the universe, but that kind of information is just coming to people. And whether you're ready for it or not, it is coming. You are getting a reality check. You are getting information you never thought that you would get. You're getting truths, different perceptions, information, knowledge, just everything is kind of coming. And it is overwhelming. So take that moment, reach out to somebody, take a breath, and know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is big change coming. You know, you see it in mainstream media when they're like, you can feel changes happening, people are waking up. You see it in your spirituality, people are like, Jesus is coming back. We have great changes happening, and it sounds really easy. You're like, oh, we're having this spiritual evolution, this, you know, big change. That change is happening through struggle. Struggle is what teaches us lessons. It is what helps us learn to do better. It's what makes us remember. And through these struggles, we will come out the other side stronger, better, no matter how dark it seems right now. So please don't give up. Don't look the other way. Don't pretend it's not happening. Don't let it overwhelm you or consume you. Reach out for help. Find someone who can be there for you, and really hold on, just tap into that source of eternal love that is always inside us. No matter how dark we might feel it is, there is always an eternal source of endless, unconditional love that we can tap into, that we can call to, and we can rely on to help support us as we make these big changes, as we make these transitions, as we get sober, as we learn new things, as we, you know, start big changes in our life to become closer to our ideal self and have that spiritual evolution. We have to make it through this struggle. We have to just, it's gonna be okay though. We got this. You can do this. All right. So the last thing on the list is Chiron and Eris, that are both retrograde, and they're also still conjunct. So these energies together are really calling out the superficial, the, you know, non-important things that we focus on, and saying, hey, you need to stop being worried about that, and you need to actually focus on yourself and healing and stepping forward to do the right thing and be that person who you want to be, and then step forward on the other side of that, you know, and make those changes. And Eris's energy is always kind of abrupt. It's always like, you know, she is the goddess who threw the golden apple. She is the, you know, the one who called out all the other gods, like, hey, you're up here worried about who is the fairest of them all, when you should be worried about the humans on Earth killing each other. And this is that moment where we are being called out, like individually and as a society and as a global world. Like, are we going to let vanity and greed destroy and consume our Earth continuously? Or are we going to step back from that, and we are going to, you know what? All life is valuable. All people are allowed to express themselves in a way that is beautiful, as long as they're not hurting other people. And I honestly don't think that anyone truly wants to express themselves in a way that is destructive to the people around them, unless they are so damaged in themselves. Like it's just, okay. Anyways, so it is time to make those changes. We have to stop letting people tell us what to think. We have to know who we are, and that our intentions are good. When we step out into the world every day, we have the best intention. We are kind, we are courteous, we have good integrity, and we are following that thought, words, actions process. We are, you know, doing the right thing. And then you will find that if everybody is just doing the right thing, we would have a better society. Everybody would be better. We wouldn't have the crazy things that are going on right now. So we did talk about the Eris and Chiron being conjunct. Other conjunctions we have are Uranus is still conjunct to Sedna, which is a really disruptive energy. I can't say that in any nice way, but Uranus erupts Sedna's energy all over the place, and Sedna's energy is of major change. Transitions that go from, her being a princess and queen to her being cut up into pieces and turning into seals and whales and the bounty of the ocean. This is a huge transition. This is a devastating action that brings great truth, that then brings great bounty. But there has to be that end point. There has to be that moment where you break and you realize that I have to make these changes. I cannot be in this same cycle over and over and over again. And it is time to make those changes. And this isn't something small. This is a big disruptive change. I mean, if you look into the myth, Sedna is betrayed by her father dramatically and left to die by him. And that is devastating in so many ways. Devastating to your psyche, devastating to yourself, devastating to your just everything. And yet she still transformed and became the bounty of the ocean, and then provides that for other people. And that is a lesson that we can all take. Like, even in your darkest moment, you can make the change. You can decide, I'm not going to be the victim. I'm going to be the person who healed from this and who moved forward from this. And I'm going to. And then I'm going to be able to provide bounty for my community because I have a stronger energy to be able to support the people around me who need that support. And, this can be in big ways, like say you're a nurse or a doctor, or, you provide some, you feed the homeless, whatever it may be. Or it can be in simple ways, like I just provide for my family and make sure that all of the people that I love have the things and the support and the love and the kindness that they have. Sometimes we feel like we need to do something big in order to make whatever. You don't. Our ripple can just be this small little ripple that only reaches the people around us, but then it makes it so that their ripples can go further, and then that energy continues out. And you're sending out this positive energy that's rippling out to all of the people around you. And even though you feel like you're only doing this small thing, you are affecting the larger world around you. And I'm going to just keep saying this. If we each went out into the world every day to do that, and we each woke up every day like thinking, how can I be the best person that I'm going to be? We would have a better world. So let's just move towards that. Let's all start making those choices. What can I do to be a better person? To act with kindness, integrity, to be supported and supportive, all at the same time. We have Jupiter and Mars. Jupiter and Mars are conjunct right now, which is a very fiery, expansive, expanding energy. It is reaching out. It is motivating. It is saying, you can do it. Just hear the water boy in my head still after all these years. You can do it. You can just get her done. And really motivating you to make the right changes. So, Mars is a warrior energy. It is this fiery aspect, but Mars only fights for what is right. Mars would never take up a sword and go out to, fight women and children. That wouldn't be a noble thing to do. It is a very noble energy, and it really calls you out to do the right thing. And with Jupiter expanding that energy and this happening in Gemini, which is that communication, working with other people, seeing both sides, we are really being called out, almost as social warriors, social justice warriors. But again, not for a superficial thing, not for a vain, nonsense, whatever, for actually the right thing. And are you doing the right thing? Are we really helping these people by doing this? What do we need to do in order to make this right? And then expand on that. And that can be like big global things, like, you know, I don't want to get into examples, but we all can think of like 20 right now global examples of things that we could be doing better. But this can also be like in your own home, like, you know, standing up and doing what is right, going to your school and saying, hey, this should be happening in our school, or this shouldn't be happening in our school. Hey, in my home, this is how this is working, but you know what? We need to make a change because this isn't helping us all achieve our goals. And really expanding on that positive, warrior, motivated energy just to get these transitions done, to really find success on the other side. We already talked about Mercury being conjunct with the Sun and Vesta. So now I'm going to show you the chart. So here we have the chart. And as you can see, we have this finger of fate that we've been talking about for a long time. But we also have another finger of fate with the, wait, where's the Sun? With the Sun and Neptune. Oh wait, let's see. These fingers of fate were really throwing me off because it's Neptune is one of the points for both of them. So we have Neptune and Pluto, which are still sextile. We've talked about this a lot. This is a pioneering energy. It is calling you to see the world in a different light. It is in a minor trine still with Uranus. And this minor trine is the base for both of these finger of fates. So in this minor trine, we are being called out to see the world in a new light and make the changes that we need to make to transform and really step forward as this new self. Now, the finger of fate that's long running with Haumea is really highlighting that even though you feel like you are in a place of nothing, Haumea had nothing, her people had nothing. It was darkness, it was a vast ocean, and there was nothing. And then out of that nothing, she created the Hawaiian Islands and made this beautiful bounty that everything that you could ever need was right there at your fingertips. And that is, as we see the world with this new perspective and we step forward, that's what's on the other side. We have the ability to bring all of this out of nothing. You're standing here looking around like, oh my God, I'm in rubble and my life, I just can't imagine us living like this. You know, a lot of countries are talking about civil wars and there's civil unrest all over the place and revolutions. And ironically, the last time that Pluto made this transition and Neptune made this transition was, you know, 1776, back when we had the American Revolution, back when we had the French Revolution. These time periods, it's kind of an ironic cycle. I mean, even France right now is bubbling with issues. Poor bed bugs. I mean, people from the bed bugs. But anyways, we have a lot of these issues. We have a lot of revolutionary, like, I am now seeing things from this new perspective, and wow, we need to make some changes. And we all need to wake up to that. And we need to realize that no matter how bad it is around us, we can make those changes. Now, this finger of fate, we're going to talk about it again and again and again because it's going on for the next 2 years, and it's going to be, so if you're not feeling, like, you know, somebody told me at our team meeting the other day, they're like, hey, I'm not feeling this right here, and you keep saying that there's going to be this horrible thing. I was like, it might not happen right now. It might happen in 6 months. It might happen in 2 years. It could happen at any point over this process. But this is something that's happening universally. And as these planets make these transitions, and you know, Haumea is also crossing a threshold, so it's going from Libra to Virgo, or Virgo to Libra, sorry. No, Libra to Virgo. But as it's making these changes and they're all crossing these thresholds, it's like this is the spiritual evolution that we're having. This is this awakening, this revolution. Whew, and it's going to be okay. We're going to make it through this, and on the other side, it's going to be something better. And we're going to have that, and we just have to do it, okay? Now, the other side of this with the sun being the point of the finger of fate, and the other half of that minor trine. That was a big bug that just flew into the wall. Anyways, it is Pluto and Neptune with the sun. And so this is really highlighting that grand new perspective, that pioneering spirit, but focusing it in onto yourself. And being conjunct with Vesta and Mercury, it is really asking you, are you expressing your devotions? Are you committed to your spiritual, your spiritual self, your ideal self, and making those changes and really stepping into that? This is a way more beneficial. It's less scary, because this is like it's just like a glimpse to the light at the end of the tunnel. It's like a little flash of like, this is what you can achieve as you see things through this new perspective and make these big transitions. So we then, with all of those retrogrades, we have a couple big squares, T-squares going on. So the sun and the moon are both square to Uranus and Sedna. And this, so I guess we didn't really talk about this already, so let's talk about this now. So the moon is in Aquarius and the sun is in Leo, and this axis is an axis of ego. This is seeking balance between what we need and what we want, what we are giving to the community, what we are taking from the community. Are we finding that balance in doing the right thing? Both of these energies are very noble energies. They're energies that like call you to rise up and to stand up tall and look down and be like, okay, look at all of the things that need to be changed. Let's fix these problems. How can I be the best person? How can I find balance between what I want and what I need, what I give and what I take, and really make space to find that balance. Now, being square to Uranus and Sedna, it can be kind of, I think, this is a disruptive square. This is a square that's kind of calling you out and saying, hey, are you seeing the truth? Are you making these changes? Are you allowing your feelings and the way that you express yourself to, are you doing this in this new way, or are you still hiding things away? I think that it is really going to be that eruptive moment where your feelings just kind of come out all over the place. You're like, bam, just come all over your face and everybody else's, and now you gotta deal with those feelings. And are you expressing your feelings in a way, are you expressing yourself in a way that is true and honest and really helping you achieve that balance between what you want and what you have to do, what you need and what you want. We also, this is one of those moments that I really feel you see the patterns kind of coming together and the energies of the universe all saying the same thing. And it's like that moment of like reinforcement of this pseudoscience astrology that, it could go both ways in the whole, is it real, is it not real? But this is one of those moments where I'm like, the way that the energies overlap with each other, they are literally all saying the same thing. And if I took one out of context or out and put it in a vacuum, it's saying, this is what it's telling us. And then all of them add up together to kind of say the same thing. So we have Saturn opposite Venus, and that is, how am I affecting others in the community, and how am I receiving love from others in the community? How is this balance, loving myself and loving others, providing and being provided for, how is that balance being found? And then square to Jupiter-Mars conjunction, it is asking you, are you fighting for the right things? Is what you're fighting for in the community and what you're motivated to stand up for in the community, is this really what you need to do? Have you taken up a cause that's not helpful for you? Do you realize that a cause that you're going to find, maybe you took up a cause and we're gonna not use any examples, but you took up this cause, you've been really motivated about it, you're like, yes, you put up the bumper stickers and the signs, and you're like, this is what it is, and then you're realizing, wait a minute, I missed a big piece of this picture, and now I'm realizing that that is not worth fighting for. That is not helping me achieve my goals. That's not making me feel supported. That's not making me feel loved. I'm not feeling the love. I'm not sending the love. And you're going to kind of see that. And it's time to let go of those things and really make sure that you're fighting for something that's important. You're fighting for something that's really worth it. You're putting your energy and your warrior self into making changes that are actually helping you. The cricket grasshoppers have transitioned into their flying stage, and now they are just more of a nuisance. So that Saturn-Venus opposition really asks us, what should we be doing and what do we want to be doing? And how do we find that balance between those things and expand on what we know is to be right? You know, we can have what we want and need if what we want is realistic. If what we, they kind of go hand in hand. And we need to find that balance. And then the last part, which I feel like is like a little warm, loving hug, is we have the moon sextile to Eris, trine to the sun. And this little triangle really brings, well, it's not really a triangle because the sun and moon are at opposite each other, but it is a triangle. So anyways, it's not a trine, but it is a triangle. This interaction, I feel like, is just like this loving touch that's like, you are gonna have deep emotional changes, and that's okay. These are changes that you need to make. These are things that you need to heal. These are really big changes, healing big wounds and traumas, even generational traumas, that are going to help you step forward and be closer to your ideal self. And I'm going to say this one more time. I know this video is getting long, but this is a time when it's okay to realize how vulnerable you are, to step out of being that victim and saying everybody is doing this to me, giving that power away to everybody else, and to stop and to take a breath, to fill your cup with love and integrity and kindness and all of the things that you need in order to step forward. Take that breath and really allow this change to just kind of wash over you. And then know that you can step forward on the other side, and it's okay. It's going to be okay. You are not the only one going through this. You are not the only one suffering. It's okay to feel so torn between what you think you should do and what you want to do and what you know you need to do. That's like a hard place to be. And instead of listening to all of this outside authority and social media and the news and whoever you're listening to that's coming out, stop, take a breath, hear what your heart is telling you, hear what your soul is telling you, hear what your inner intuition is telling you. It's going to be really strong right now with Neptune at the last degree of Pisces. Really strong intuition. Listen to your intuition. Follow your heart. Know your truth. See the world through the new perspective that's being presented to you, and make those big changes. And it's going to be okay. Please don't make choices that you can't come back from in a bad way. I mean, like suicide, mostly suicide. I mean, that's really a hard thing. And if you need help, please reach out. Please find someone in your community to talk to. Reach out to me. Reach out to, the National Suicide Prevention. There are so many resources out there that can help you. So please reach out. Do not find this moment as that last moment. And I hate saying this, but I do think a lot of people really are at that moment right now. Or I think we know somebody who is at that moment, or who has made that moment happen. And those are really, really difficult things to get through for your community, know that you are not alone. You have help, and there is people there to support you. And we are all struggling. Everybody is going through something, even if they don't tell you, even if they don't really see it quite yet. Everybody is going through something, and we are all going to have these big changes. We are all going to struggle through onto the other side and make something better. This is going to be that moment of, you know, A's flood or Noah's flood. That this is the energy that we are being presented with. We've been getting a lot of warnings, like you need to build your boat, you need to heal, you need to make progress, you need to do the things that you need to do in order to be successful. And now the flooding has started, and it is everywhere. And now, hopefully, you built a good boat. And if you didn't, it's time to reach out to someone who did, climb aboard. Let's make those changes together. Let's really step through on the other side, happier, healthier, knowing that we are who we are meant to be, and having confidence in that, because each person is beautiful. Each person is a unique, amazing, beautiful part of the whole puzzle, and each piece is needed. And even if you think that you're not affecting the world around you, you are. Your ripple goes out and it affects all the people, just keeps going out. I try to say nice things to people as I walk down the street. So if I see someone and I like her dress, I just say, I really like your dress. And you find that just that simple thing, everything changes. I don't even know this person. I will probably never see them again. And they feel better, and then they're going to go out into the world, and that is going to ripple out from there. You know, it's like paying it forward. We don't have to buy the next person coffee. We just have to be better people. It sounds so easy, but it really is. So, with all of that said, thank you if you made it all the way to the end. I very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will see you all here in a week or so, and know that you're not alone. You have someone there for you. And if you feel like you have no one else, email me, reach out, message me right here in this video, and know that you're not alone. We are all struggling, and we can find support in each other. We can help each other, and we can make it through the other side, and we are going to build something beautiful on the other side of this. So, many blessings to you, and I will talk to you guys all soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe.